Hi, this is Mike Brown, owner of Death Wish Coffee Company. Welcome to Fueled by Deathcast.
I love Jeff, but sweet and high. Whoop, Mr. Motorama coffee and pie.
Death Wish Coffee presents Fueled by Deathcast, the world's strongest podcast. With your hosts, the incredible Jeff and the amazing D-Man.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Fueled by Deathcast. This is episode 113. And, gosh, let's just get right into it. As always, I am the incredible Jeff.
And I am the amazing D-Man.
And we'd love it if you guys took a second and followed us on social media. It's very easy to do. I am at Jeff Wish Coffee.
And I am at Death Wish Dustin.
And you can follow everything the show does on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Fueled by Deathcast. It's really easy to do. And, man, Dustin, you were talking last week's episode about the creation of the internet. And I was looking it up, and you were 100% right.
It was Bob Dole?
It was Bob Dole created the internet just so we could all follow Christian Slater.
I told you.
Incredible.
Facts.
Wikipedia, look it up. Actually, it's not. We should really go on Wikipedia and change that if we
Well,
can.
what do we change Bob Dole's Wikipedia? Because nobody's going in and fixing that, right?
You're right. Right, I like this. We're coming for you, Bob Dole.
Bob Dole.
Bob Dole. No. That's not why the internet was created. But we'd love it if you guys followed Christian Slater on social media, because we love Christian Slater and we want you guys to love him as much as
And
we
why
do.
not? What do you have to lose?
What do you have to lose?
You only have things to gain.
Yes.
By the presence of the amazing Christian Slater.
At Real Christian Slater over there on the interwebs. Speaking on the internet, though, another person you should follow is friend of the show and the voice of death, Brock Powell.
BrockFox.com.
He's the voice actor on this show and 1,000 voices out there in the world. He's doing some really exciting stuff this year, and we just got started in 2019. So you're going to want to follow him. BrockFox.com and BrockFox across all social media. We love Brock to death. And we started last week reminding ourselves about some of our favorite podcasts, and we wanted to give you guys those as well. First up, I wanted to remind you guys to go on over and check out Dave Solo and his two amazing podcasts. First up is the Pop 10. That is every single month they run down 10 awesome pop culture topics that are just really rad, and he has a lot of fun, him and his co-host. And his other show is Walker Nation. If you guys are fans of The Walking Dead, it just started back up, second half of season 9. It's craziness. And
Did it just start? Walking Dead started back up?
Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday they premiered, they super premiered the season or the mid-season premiere of it or whatever.
Oh, I totally missed that.
Yeah. So, well, you can watch the episode and then relive all the awesome with Dave Solo and his co-host on Walker Nation.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, for sure. And another friend of the show who just got into the podcast game and is killing it is Ricky Rackman. Ricky Rackman used to be the host of MTV's Headbangers Ball, but now he's in the podcast game doing 2 podcasts out right now. One, Cat House Hollywood podcast. I got stuck in my mouth for a minute, where Ricky regales a story that happened at the infamous Cat House. Each episode, it comes out every other week. It's a lot of fun. You don't want to miss that episode. And a brand new one, episode 2 is just about to drop for 19 minutes with Ricky and Leah, and that's Ricky and Leah Vendetta talking about just shooting the shit. This second episode's all about tattoos. So, I mean, it's a lot of fun. And finally, if you guys listened to last week's podcast, you know our friends, Mr. Throwback Thursday, for all things hip-hop. Their show has been going strong for 5 years, over 260 episodes, and it just never missing a beat. If you guys love hip-hop, this is the one for you. And if you know nothing about hip-hop, like you and me, I mean, we know a little bit, but I learned so much just by listening to this podcast, and I highly, highly recommend all those shows.
Secret code unlocked. Discount of death.
It's a secret code you hear about every week, and it has not changed. That is discount of death over at deathwishcoffee.com. If you put in that discount code during checkout that will nail you 12% off of everything on deathwishcoffee.com. That includes mugs, vacuum sealed canisters, Chemexes. We have kettles. We have pretty much anything you could possibly want as a coffee drinker. And now you can get that at 12% off with discount of death.
It's so crazy. All one word, right at checkout. You have that code to apply. It's so easy to do. And 12% off right from us here at Fueled by Deathcast, because we love you guys. And I gotta plug my own, because we made that mistake. Use discount of Jeff, because that also gets you 12% off. Use it.
I'm gonna make it so discount of death is 13% off. So discount of Jeff is just a little bit
And then
inferior.
no one will use it. But yeah, discount of death, guys. 12% off deathwishcoffee.com. Okay, this week we got a double dose of a guest for you. This is our Valentine's Day episode, so we have an incredible husband and wife duo as our guests. When we went on our incredible adventure down to Los Angeles last year, we met up with some of our friends, Jes and Dave Hudak. This is Jes and this is Dave, and they are living out in Los Angeles now after living in New York forever. That's where we became friends with them. In fact, I went to school with Jes. I used to sit behind her in music theory.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And
yes, I did. You
I think I've told that. Yeah, I think I've told that story. But they're incredible. Jes is a incredible musician. She has been on Bravo's reality television show Platinum Hit, where she came in second. Also, she has a gold record in Australia for her song Different Worlds, which was used on Australia's The Voice, and 1,000 other accolades, and she's just killing it out on the West Coast. And Dave is an aspiring comedian, and he is a seasoned veteran of the stage in New York City as well as in Los Angeles. And it was really cool to go and talk with them about their aspirations and, just really just trying to pursue your dream, because isn't that what we're all trying to do?
No.
Fuck
those dreams.
But they really are, and they're raising their family now out on the West Coast, and it was really cool, and I hope you guys have a good time listening to them for our Valentine's Day episode. So mugs up this week for Dave and Jes Hudak.
Enjoy.
The Fueled by Death guest.
Is Death Wish.
This is Death Wish.
Well, yeah.
We
Murder
wish-
comes
we all
definitely with it, right?
Wish for it at one point.
I hope this is like Pete Holmes' podcast where this is it right now.
Is
We're just
it-
starting right now.
I
No one knows
mean-
it, right?
I think it probably is.
I mean-
I'm going to go with that's exactly what's happening.
Let's just
no,
say,
no. We'll edit out that part when I said another name's podcast. You don't want to promote any other things besides your own.
Especially Pete Holmes.
No,
He's like,
especially
I
not.
listen to
He
every
hasn't done-
podcast, and
I know.
they usually just start recording,
They
but
just
you
start
guys aren't going to do that.
Right? You know, right? You're not going to just start right there.
that. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
No, I like to just hit the record button early.
Oh,
because
fantastic, yeah.
There are times where I just fucking forget to hit the record button. So
You should
It's
always,
the
yeah.
truth. It is.
it's happened. It's happened. Just like, yeah, and
Oh, hello.
Always
30
record.
minutes in, no recording.
oh shit.
Yeah,
Where's your
LA is a
show?
magical place. This is Dustin's first time in California. It's
Oh,
my
yeah.
first time in LA, actually.
Well,
but
welcome to the
Yeah.
land of things.
it is. There's
I've
also
always
stuff.
wanted to be here. I've always, I don't know, for some reason as a kid, I imagined it was the place I was going to end up.
Oh, really?
I
Yeah.
guess that's what you do. Not necessarily
yeah, that's
LA,
true.
but like California. You
Yeah,
just-
yeah.
you
I always
just
wanted to
think-
go to California.
Yeah,
I grew up in
yeah.
a small town and it fucking sucked.
Yeah, well, you
Yeah.
just get sick of that East Coast weather too, where it's just like, oh my god, these
it's-
winters are horrible. These
It's
summers are horrible.
beautiful right now. It's like 85.
Is it like this all the time here?
No, it was like 105 like
Really?
2 weeks ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's the desert. It gets hot.
Yeah, especially in
and
the valley
then
here.
at night it gets chillier, and then the next day it's hot again.
Well, it's like semi.
It's
hot
science.
At night.
Well, it's that
Well,
dry
sorry.
heat. It's not the same.
It's very different.
Outside of the heat, though, what do you guys think is the biggest difference from living in New York City for a while to living in LA, to moving to and that's complete the dichotomy.
This will definitely be Jess's first go.
Well,
This
it's
sounds like you.
well, it's very different. I mean, just in my industry and what I do, doing musics.
The music.
Music, yeah, because I had lived in LA before, and I got a lot of good stuff done here, but it wasn't like I wasn't like fully living it right. Like I never really felt like it was my life. It was like
yeah.
there was people in my life influencing me, and I was, a lot younger then, in my 20s, like an idiot, listening to what people tell me I should do. Yeah. And then you turn 30 and you're like, fuck you, I'm gonna do what I fucking want.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah, and so I had been here before, and I was like, I hate it there, it's worse. And then we moved to, I moved back to Saratoga, met Dave, got married, moved down to Brooklyn. And I was like, I have such a good network in Brooklyn of people there that are going to help me and stuff. And no, my best friend Kim lives there.
Yeah.
And then my other friend Emmett, who also just moved to LA. So there goes, and she has plans to move as well. It's just one of those things, like the New York scene for music, everyone is so caught up in their own hustle that it's not really a like supportive, let's, figure out how we can do something together. Like, oh, you're awesome at that. I know people who could, use your skills. Whereas in LA, everyone's like, what do you do? Should we do things? Like, ooh, let's get coffee.
I heard it's kind of fake though.
So it can be. But you can tell,
depends.
like after certain times, like there's times where I'm like, I know that, sure, I'll have coffee with this person and maybe we'll have a nice conversation. Maybe I'll influence them in some way. Maybe we'll learn something from each other. And you can tell, but you have to know that going in and be like, I have the coffee with this person set up and it's going to be life-changing. Be like, nah, I'm going to go drink coffee and
chill out.
Chill, and maybe
we'll see
you
where
will
it goes.
vibe or not.
Yeah.
But luckily my network from before when I lived in LA is super crushing it, super awesome. And it was like I was in such a fog of negativity last time that I didn't realize how awesome my friends were. Yeah. And now that I'm back, it's like, oh, duh.
From your side of the industry of comedy, is it the same? Is it constant flux from East Coast to West Coast?
The difference is, I want to say, New York and LA, it's funny because New York, when you get a job, it's kind of hard when people kind of help you unless you're already in the upper echelons,
right?
Yeah. Because when you get a job, you're taking away money. Because in New York, it's such a fucking struggle.
Yeah,
like it's rough. Like it's like you go to New York to be
Why?
an artist.
Why is it rough?
I want to say because in New York, you're an artist. I believe New York people go there really to get away from where they are, find themselves, do what they do, find their voice, and then they're like, because New York is an art town, like. It's built upon artistic expressions. So you'll get across the board everything. Because in comedy in New York, even in LA, but in New York, you'll see more mix. You'll see like a drag queen on a show.
Yeah.
You'll just have a mixed hodgepodge of acts. You'll get it out here, but it seems like in New York, on those shows, everyone's just having a fun time. Because they're doing their art. They're performing their art. It's a little community. But yet you still are taking money out of someone's mouth. I mean, if you get a gig and they don't get a gig,
right?
That person might not be able to pay their rent. We don't appreciate the art as much as we should.
That's true.
In this country in a way,
it's
or
true.
Whatever, or just in humanities, I should say.
I would say it in this country.
Well, yeah. Well,
I mean, I've talked to musicians, I've talked to entertainers, I've talked to comedians, and almost across the board. It's not that people don't like performing in America. It's that people don't like to go to performances in America.
Yeah.
In Europe, in Asia, like it's always talked about like how, art is much more appreciated.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course.
And I feel like
we
people
just to be artists.
Exactly. I feel like
They nourish
Americans
it.
are just like art exists.
Well, yeah.
It's there.
Well, the art is a thing that should be an expression of humanity anyway, right? Because the art isn't art, just an expression of humanity. Like, yes, it's always been tied into, like, say, the Medici family of the Dark Ages, where it's like the money is providing art to, like, Michelangelo and to Donatello and those guys. But the truth is, like, art still comes from a visceral, poor place. It's true. And that's the struggle most of the times. And then, you'll get, like, some people find your art and like it and continue on. And that's the good thing about LA. Because in LA, you kind of get like, everyone's here for the same goal in a way.
Yeah.
And so they're willing to help because you can do something that, can help. You'll do something that will lead you somewhere.
Right.
And just because they're your friends or whatever, they might not be as talented or whatever, but that's still like a little helpful community you have because they'll be like, oh, we're going to reach out and see we like you. Yeah. What are you going to do? Just have some fun.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, but here in LA, it's like you do that. You kind of, your group comes up together. Yeah. You all kind of rise together. Everywhere you kind of you flow, all your talent kind of floats together. But and it all happens at different times. That's why you see like, see like a group of people all of a sudden like you're John Mulaney's, you
Right.
know, all those guys who came up together in the SNL or
Right.
other realm comedy, Rafiki style back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, and then they kind of build up all together as one community, and then the next community comes up.
Yeah.
But like that community still kind of helps the other community.
Wait, did you just call Rafiki?
Rafiki,
Which I'm pretty
Rafiki?
sure isn't Rafiki the
Monkey.
The
and
monkey from
Lion
Lion
Yeah.
King, yes.
Well,
Yeah,
my
not to be
thing is-
confused with Rafifi, the well-known comedy.
that
venue
is
in
the
New York.
most comedic performance of any animated monkey ever.
It's kind of true.
Rafiki.
That's true. He was pretty funny.
I have a lot of thoughts about what you were saying about how America, it's different the way the
Uh-huh.
arts are viewed, because I've done a lot of coaching and teaching
Yes.
on the Isle of Staten, the magical Staten Island.
Mm-hmm.
That was my
It is very magical.
Yes.
very magical.
Dead things everywhere.
If anybody's listening from Staten Island, what's up? I love you. It's
I
okay.
don't.
It's okay to do music. Wait. It's okay to do music. It's okay to do something creative.
It's okay to get off the island of Staten and go into
It's
Manhattan.
okay to drive over the Verrazano Bridge and go do your life. Do your art, do your life. Because it's just, it's almost like heightened that area, Staten Island, very sheltered, strange that it's part of New York City.
Yeah.
But it's almost like a very exaggerated version of this attitude, because I would have students, a lot of teenagers, and they would come in and they would be like, well, I want to do music as a career, but everybody in my family says you can't, and they're just kind of humoring me. Or they'd be like, one artist I work with, he wants to fucking blow his brains out every day because he has to do construction. Because it's like working for my stepdad, you know, like,
Right.
and he hates it. And he is a sensitive soul. He is an artist, you know, and every day he has to go fucking manual labor and just
Yeah.
hates it. And it's like in that realm, when you have a job or own your own company, that's making it. And arts you can't do. So kids would sit there and be like, well, you can't do, well, I'm just nervous about it because you can't do it as a career. And I'm like, you're sitting here talking to somebody who does music as a career. Like, I'm not known or anything. Like, some in Philippines and Australia, I'm real hot.
Oh, you're
But,
super hot in the Philippines. All
hot in
those.
the Philippines.
All Filipino.
But
action
like,
up here.
I'm doing music as a career. You're
Yeah.
sitting here talking to a person who's doing that, and you're telling me that it can't be done. So, and it's one of those things, and this is why a lot of times I'm drawn to British male singers, because I'm like, they're so talented, they're so trained. Listen to like every male voice I hear that I like, they're British, and it's like, because in England, that is a craft that is supported and
Yes.
treated like an actual, you know, like they go to school for it. And it's not like, oh my God, you're going to music school.
like you're doing
and
ballet
you're such a
class.
rebel. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you found something you're good at and you're going to pursue it and be really trained and professional at it. Good for you.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I would show that to kids and they'd realize like, oh, why is Sam Smith? You hear how good his voice is because it's like nurtured in
Yeah.
a much different way than in America. In America, it's like not cool for like boys to sing in high school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's like not.
It's not cool for boys to do anything in art.
And then, but then it's like
Yeah.
when guys are in bands, all girls are obsessed with them. So it's like this whole weird realm.
Are
You
they?
got to get back in
You
bands.
could be a toothless hunchback.
Yeah.
You play a ripping guitar solo on stage. Every girl will want to suck your
Especially when you do it with your
toenails.
It's true.
toenails.
It's true. One thing about art, though, that is universal is that it inspires.
Oh, of course.
And for both of you, and starting with you, Jess, I want to know, like, what inspired you to pursue music? Like, where did that begin in your life?
Oh, well, I mean, it just never, there was never a time when it wasn't there. Like, I was just always, since I was little, I was like, I like to sing and I like to dance. I played Hello Mutta, Hello Fada. I played piano and sang it at like my 4th grade talent show. And, you know, looking back, I'm like, you know what? I was so much better at the stagecraft then, because I like dressed like in camp gear with a little fishing hat and I brought a fishing pole up and just leaned it against the piano and then played. And I'm like, why don't I do like now? Like, let me glue some flowers
clever.
to my piano. Let me like
Yeah.
make
Why
do
don't you
something.
do shit like
So
that.
it was always a thing, and it was like one of those things. Like in high school, I made a record when I was 14.
Oh, yeah.
I like would play open mic night. Cafe Lena, shout out Cafe Lena.
Definitely, definitely.
Oldest continuously run coffee house in the country.
Uh-huh.
Can we talk about your Jewel story now, since we said Catalina?
My Jewel story.
No, that's
She's
all right. That's
great. I was on a
Gossip.
TV show with Jewel, and she was
Great.
Anyway,
do that.
Okay, I'll finish the
whatever
rest
to
of the
our
story.
listeners. I don't know the
Okay,
story.
no, I'm going to finish the story as her dad would finish the story.
Okay.
So
she really
Jess-
pissed my dad off.
yeah, she really pissed her dad off. Her dad even wrote a letter but never sent it.
I was like, Dad, you
Yeah.
need to not read blogs.
Yeah. So we're gonna get some deep
All
cuts
right,
from
I'm in.
Platinum.
I love
Platinum.
this.
So my
I'm gonna be
beautiful
shunned by the music
yeah.
community of Jewel if we
Yeah.
continue
Please
this
do
story.
Who's
not
gonna
listening,
save
I
her soul
promise.
for you? Right?
Oh no.
Crushing it, Dave, with the comedy, ladies
What
and
can I
gentlemen.
say? I know
He's a
dad
comedian.
jokes. Yeah, it's like they I'm a comedian.
No,
Wait, what's the comedian?
Comediac.
Comediac. There it is. 2 times.
No, Jewel, I was on this TV show called Platinum Hit
Platinum
on
Hit,
Bravo.
yep.
It was a songwriting competition. I came in second. A confetti cannon went off in my face, and I didn't win $100,000. That's what I always
Wait, why
say.
did a confetti cannon go off? in your
Because I
face
came
then?
in second.
Yeah.
So
You
there's
get the
this,
confetti
You're
cannon
on
if you
stage.
go.
so there's the 2 people at the end finale of the show,
Yeah.
and they're saying, and
Yeah.
the winner of Platinum Hit is.
Not you.
And then they say the name, and confetti explodes, and champagne, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I was
you
like,
gotta still stay up there and just
Come-
get bukkakied with
Come.
confetti. Bukkakied
Just-
in confetti.
but it was one of those things like it's a reality show.
Yeah.
Right,
So
right,
that's a whole
yeah.
other topic
Whole
of like
different
how
thing.
they torment you as a human being just to get
Yes.
reactions out of you.
Yes.
So Jewel said some really fucked up things to me.
Oh, no.
And was
Wait,
really
but she
fucking
said,
mean to me.
You gotta pony up.
That
Right? That's the-
that was edited sometime later because she never actually said that.
Oh, she
like
didn't say- oh, that's
to me
oh.
because you can't say that to somebody who is sick because the crew,
Poisoned them
the
to death?
staff has malnourished and poisoned you.
Well, my
Yeah.
wife
So you
has a
can't-
lot of.
There's a
like,
lot of conversation
yeah.
threads here.
There's
You've
a lot
gotta
of
pull
Right.
this
So
apart.
the
one
point
step at a
is-
time, please.
she's allergic. Jess is allergic to everything. First, everybody.
Let's not talk about this.
Well,
'cause
it's
let
part
me
of it.
finish this quickly because okay. So
In
I
and
got
out.
sick. I had to write a whole goddamn song by myself
Yep.
because the other girl I was with was not a very helpful companion in a writing session, and I was
Shout out.
super sick, passed out. Basically, in between
Contestant
lines,
number
I'd be
5.
like, "Go to the A chord," and then they were like, and when I was like 14, Jewel was supposed to play Cafe Lena, and I got tickets and I was excited, and then she canceled it because she got drunk with the dude who ran Cafe Lena the night before.
Pony up.
Yeah, but guess what? Not only did she get drunk with a guy before,
Dave, we don't. I know
she
this
did
is all
something
ru-
that maybe only a finger in a butthole might tell you something.
This is
I'm not
this is
gonna
all
give
rumors.
I'm gonna leave it. Comeback.
This is
I'm gonna
that's
leave-
all rumors, but
Allegedly.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
allegedly,
It's
Jewel had sex
so
with the guy
dumb.
from Cafe Lena and couldn't perform because she got so drunk and got so banged.
Best
Yeah.
episode ever.
Yeah, guess what? Jewel couldn't pony up the next day.
And cowboy up. That's
Cowboy.
what it said. It was like, Jess, you need to cowboy up. And no, like sometimes in writing sessions, you need to like be able to turn it on. And it's like, yeah, and also in the real world, you get to go home at night. You get to call your mom.
Yeah.
You get to like, shit in your own fucking toilet. Like, like there's other.
Makes a big difference.
It does.
Huge difference.
Huge. difference.
So anyway, I don't know where the whole point of that was such a tangent.
I really was a
Yeah, how
tangent.
did we
The
get
point
there?
is,
It's-
my whole
'cause you
life,
gotta-
this is my only thing I've ever
Right.
done. I've
Yeah.
never
That's-
not.
see, sorry, it's
I
my
have
fault.
never
My
not
fault.
wanted to do music. And there comes a certain point where you're like, what is my goal with music? And mine is to make money to have enough, comfort for my
So her
family.
husband doesn't have to work, so he can do comedy.
But I
She
have to
doesn't
do
pay.
music and voice stuff, or I want to blow my brains out. And I've tried doing other things, and if I don't do it, it makes me miserable. But when I'm doing it and
Oh.
voiceover stuff and like demo vocals and stuff, I'm the happiest person.
And I think
Please.
that's do what
all
do
I
what makes
care
you
about.
happy.
I do not
and pursue
care
it
about fame
and
or
pursue it
anything.
to the end of the earth. 100%.
Who did we just talk to that quoted Bukowski? Oh, it was Sloan, wasn't it? Yeah.
So
Find what you love and
let
make
it kill you.
And let it kill you, something like
Yeah.
that.
yeah. I gotta ask though. You said that 4th grade fishing pole against your
It started
piano.
so innocent, and then it went so terribly.
I have to ask though,
okay.
at that moment, you're on stage. Are you just a stage performer, born and bred?
There was
never
like, oh, I should do this. It was like, of course I'm doing this. This is what I do. That's all. And then
it's in your blood.
We moved from New Jersey to Saratoga Springs. They had Cafe Lena open mic night. I went every Thursday, and I was like, I'll never forget it. I saw this girl Claire play piano. Classic upstate New York white girl with dreads,
Yep.
backless
a bunch of
napkin
them.
of a shirt. And she just sat and played instrumental piano pieces that she had written. And I was like, oh, I do that. I didn't know that was writing. I just thought I was. Wow. I wrote my first little instrumental thing. I wrote an alternate melody to Heart and Soul when I was in like 4th grade. And I didn't realize that was writing. I was like, this also goes with it and is different. And I saw her, and then every week after that, I started doing instrumental piano, and then I started playing Tori Amos songs, because hi.
Yeah, of course.
Hi, junior high, it's great. And then I started writing songs with lyrics, and every week I would try to write a new song for open mic night, and then by the time in like 8th grade, I had enough for a record, and this artist in residence, John Nazarenko, we all love him.
Oh my God.
Wait, who's John Nazarenko?
He made my record.
Yeah.
Wow.
He made my record in Schuylerville.
Yeah, sure did.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I interned with him, and he helped build the studio in Schuylerville that we had there.
Yes.
That's
John
so...
Nazarenko made my first record when I was 14.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's a terrible album. Don't.
Which one?
My voice is so
You
terrible.
want to give them? You
But
got
it's,
a couple.
but I sang like.
honest to God,
You
still
probably
have
have
a copy. Still have a
we
copy.
have 5 copies over
We
there.
should talk about your wife.
Yeah.
Oh.
First person that was nice to me, said any words to me on my first day of school in Saratoga,
awesome.
7th grade. We were both wearing plaid flannel shirts. We both kind of looked like Eddie Vedder girl puberty.
Yeah.
And she was, and everybody else in Saratoga, if you know Saratoga, was in like Abercrombie polos.
Oh, yeah.
And just raging douches.
Yes.
Especially in 7th grade. The
Of
worst
course.
humans on earth are 7th
And
graders.
especially 7th grade girls. Like,
Yeah.
it's a whole other
That
world.
I wouldn't
like,
hold hands in the hallway, and they would laugh at me and call me prude. And I was like, Mom, they called me prude today at school. She's like, you're in 7th grade. Good job. You're supposed to be prude.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what else would you be?
Wait, you're
So-
a prude in 7th grade?
So Trish Eddy, shout out.
Yeah?
She made me a necklace, and it's fucking beautiful. Thank you. And how did you guys meet?
Trish and me. Well, it's funny. Obviously, you know, we knew of each other in high school. Because fun story. Actually, I sat behind Jess in music theory.
Oh, really? Did you learn a lot?
Yeah.
No.
My junior prom date, who is coming to Ruby's birthday party tomorrow, Jesse Gavin.
God, stop
Yeah,
bringing
Jesse
him
Gavin.
up.
I know. God damn it.
was also in that class,
Yes.
and that's how we
The
became
divorce
friends.
Of course.
Tomorrow.
So Trish and I knew each other in high school, but we didn't. Our circles ran together, but we never really ran together. And then a cut to, you know, probably 6-7 years out of that, we reconnected through mutual friends, and it was that was really the be all end all of it. And then we started working together up at Skidmore College, and it was like her second or third day working there, and I was like teaching her the ropes and everything, and she did something. It was just something really innocuous, just like a laugh or something like
Yeah.
that. And I was just like, I'm gonna marry her.
You're like, done.
Yeah, totally.
Yep,
Got
done.
it right there. Yeah.
Like married.
Yeah.
And I did. Ha ha.
Hey.
Ching.
I remember when this one walked through the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Oh my God.
Nine Maple?
Yeah, Nine Maple.
Nice.
Yeah, of course. You know, before being a comedian, you always have to have another job because it doesn't pay.
Of course.
Until it pays.
Of course.
How
Like
long-
everything.
Wait, were you a comedian then in Saratoga? too?
Yeah, actually, I started taking like UCB classes. That's when
I
I really
never knew
started
that.
going. Yeah, like when I was in Saratoga, I started doing UCB.
Bring it back.
Yeah, bring it back.
What brought you to comedy?
What brought me to comedy?
Yeah, the same kind of thing.
I'll let you know. Monotony. Like I've always been like, I don't know. There's like always been like humor. People say I'm funny. I don't believe it. It's just
You
the way.
are.
This is the way I talk. This is the way I say things. I don't know.
Comedy.
I mean, I laugh at you.
Yeah, people laugh at me, which is good enough.
Yeah,
I guess,
yeah.
as long as there's a response.
Was there a moment in your young life where you
Oh, of course.
where it switched and you like wanted to pursue that?
I
or-
think well, the thing is, I always loved film. Like I always
Okay.
wanted to make movies. I always wanted to, I studied film. I
Yes.
studied movies and shit like that, and went to New York Film Academy. Did that shit.
Yes.
But just to make films. But the thing is, and I always wanted to make film, but I always loved looking back at my life. As a comedian, it's always bad. But when you look back at your life, I realized I always watched comedy. All
Okay.
my life, it was always comedy was on my TV. Like I was like, even comedians I don't like nowadays.
Right.
But like there was some that always stuck out. But it was like I used to watch Andrew Dice Clay, loved him when as a kid.
Yeah.
Grow out of him. But guess what? Still fucking loved him.
Yeah.
You know, Steve Martin, Robin Williams as a kid. Even though I didn't understand half the shit, it's like Monty Python. I didn't understand half the shit, but I loved it.
Well, he wasn't. He just talked funny.
Yeah, he just talked. Yeah, he's like, yeah, of course. Like Robin Williams is a fucking madman. I wish.
Yeah.
Fun fact, he died on my birthday when I first moved to New York.
Fun fact.
Fun fact.
That was so much fun.
Welcome to Dave's humor.
Well, yeah, it's dark. A lot of it's very dark. It's a conversation most of the time.
Comedy comes from a dark place.
Well, yeah, but that's where I got into comedy. All my life, I loved comedy. I've always been, I don't know, funny, but like silly.
Yeah.
It's always silly. I'm more about silliness, if anything. Like, because to me, even the most darkest things are silly because it's like it happens to everybody.
Yeah.
We have this disconnect of human beings sometimes that we don't realize we play the same story or stage plays. Shakespeare,
Right.
all the same, it's a world's a stage. I'm paraphrasing. World's a stage. We're all fretting about it. Everyone comes in, does their thing, does comedy or does whatever they do. But we
I think
do
that's
our thing.
verbatim. I think
I
that was
think that's verbatim.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
It's his early work.
Yes.
It's
Early
young,
draft.
It's young Billy Shakespeare. Billy Shakespeare is where I like to go from. But it's really, we live this life.
Yeah.
And where we go. And, living in a small town, especially when, like, I grew up even in a smaller town. I grew up in one town over called Corinth, which was like a mountain town of people who only had three teeth because they broke it all on corn, pretty much. I think they lost all their teeth on corn.
They just came down from the mountain to grab more dirt to bring back up to the mountain.
Yeah, to make it even higher. I don't know why, but they did it.
Yeah, yeah.
It was terrible.
It's so tough living in a little town like
It
that
is,
because
yeah.
you don't even have a perspective of the outside
No,
world.
there's no-
Where did you catch that perspective of the outside world that made you want to just get the fuck out?
I think it was just going to high school or just elementary school. There was something about just living that I looked at everyone around me, and sometimes I was just like, what are you guys even fucking caring about? This is nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, you're thinking about mundane things when there's such a bigger world picture.
Yeah.
Like, I've always had a bigger world picture.
Yeah.
Like, to me, like, it's about we all live the same story, but it's different because we can't, like Einstein says, theory of relativity, we can't see, like, two trains pass.
Right.
They both signed the contract at the same time. I think I read this in some scientific book of physics that was supposed to be dumbed down for people. So 2 trains pass, and they both signed the thing at the same exact time, but the way the trains pass, you don't see the same signature. So it looks like, say, North Korea signed the treaty before Russia signed the treaty or whatever,
right?
Or whatever it is, or vice versa. Then the other person said, no, Russia signed it before we did, so it's not equal. And that's what life is. Like, we live the same story. We all live the same story. We all live the fucked up same life. We all come from somewhere that might be kind of shady, or weird. And we live this life that we feel is so separate.
Yeah.
The truth is, though, it's not separate. We just have different stories that are the same story. It's like a movie. Like, they can make Marvel movies or any movie that's just a remake of the same movie over and over again.
Right.
Because it's the same story through a different perspective. But that's why we're like, oh, it's so boring. But guess what? That's what life is. Life is really boring.
Yeah.
We have to make it fun. We have to find the absurdity of life. Why is life boring? There's a reason why life's boring. Is because
You live in Corinth.
we live in Corinth. Yeah. Live in Corinth. We live in a small mountain town. There's a much bigger world. We never see it. Some people do. I always wanted to see an outside world. And my thing is, like, knowing there's an outside world, knowing that we're all the same, it doesn't matter where you go. You can live in a small town, you can live wherever, you'll find your freaks.
Yeah.
The thing is, find your freaks. You got to find your freaks, because your freaks are your people who are going to be with you throughout your career.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got to find your people.
You got to find your people.
So do you believe then by pursuing comedy, it's helped you see the world like from a different lens?
I don't think comedy ever makes you see a world from a different lens. I think it makes you see it from a practical lens that you might not think is practical to other people until people start laughing at the same story because they find it the same story.
Do you think it's helped you find your freaks?
Did it help me find? I found some freaks along the way.
Yeah.
I found my personal freaks yet? I don't think I haven't been. No, I want to say I found my personal freaks yet, but I have found my freaks who have tagged along the way.
Okay.
But then again, as being a comedian and having trust issues with people, maybe I found my freaks and I've never really found them. Because it's a fucked up world out there, man.
It is.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but
It is.
I'm gonna
fucked up world, and we all
I'll get
gotta live
philosophy
it.
all day here.
It's super real.
Dave has a new. It's just funny because I feel like one of your strongest and funniest forms of artistic expression is like Instagram stories.
Yeah.
And it's
I
like
agree.
this new format, but it's like everybody follow Unfunniest Comic.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Unfunniest Comic on
that right
Instagram because it's one of those things where you'll spend all this time intricately making just like a hilarious series of things, and it's like it's a new medium
Yeah.
that
Like, do Jedis fart? I want to know if a Jedi farts.
and he'll
Like,
do
think
a
about
By the way,
whole
your
run of things
your
like that.
entire diatribe on Jedi's farting,
Yeah, of course.
hilarious.
And you know what? People are listening like, I've thought that too.
Yes.
But
Could they shoot their fart at one specific person?
But then again, they're also aliens. So do
That's what I
some
would do.
aliens fart or do they not fart?
Right.
You know, do the metachlorians hold your farts in? Because metachlorians are canon.
Are
So,
farts
yeah.
universal? Like, yes.
If anybody has
But
any
do you fart under your
questions
butt or your
about
mouth?
canon on any topic of comics and stuff, just call in right now. 1-800-DEATHWISH. Dave will tie them all together.
First of all, Yoda will kill everybody with his fart.
It's
He
true.
is
Oh,
like
yeah, that's
900
gotta be
years
bad,
old,
right? Like a dog farts, but like
Yeah.
swampy.
Oh, swampy dog farts.
Well-
I think I smelled something like that once from my grandpa.
Dave talked about something that I just want to touch on really quickly about finding like your people, finding your freaks and
yeah.
stuff. And to me, that's like the most important thing in life.
Yeah, it really is.
You can waste so much of your time trying to like vibe with people who aren't your vibe and trying
Yeah,
to do
it's
things
true.
that aren't your thing. And it's like I've gotten to the age now where it's like if I don't, you feel it immediately. If
Yeah.
someone's your
Yeah.
person.
Go.
Yep.
You know, and I've even met people who are like in a couple and I vibe super hard with one and don't have two words to say to the other. You know,
Yeah.
it's like one of those things where you're like, it's my people. And that's, I think a lot of times people spend so much time in their life wasting it on people who aren't their people.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, and I have friends who do this and they're like, it's just this struggle. And it's like, cause they don't get you. Like, why waste any seconds? Like, and I'm not a second waster. Like,
Right.
if I'm like, oh, we've introduced each other and it's cool. You do music, I do music. I don't never want to be in a room with you again.
Why fuck around is what I always say.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, why waste that time? Like, it doesn't matter.
Life is too short to really fuck around.
Yeah,
You know,
seriously.
it really is. You got to like start cutting things out. If it's like not good, you have to like just cut it.
I was saying to I think this was yesterday we were talking about it, and I was like, we were just driving for so long and just kind of out of it.
Oh, yeah, of
And,
course.
You know, the legal substances here in California.
Oh, you mean
that
the
have been
best
influenced.
legal.
It's the best
Coffee
legal coffee
and,
around.
Yeah, just too much coffee.
Best
Yes.
legal coffee in California. Oh my god!
Don't be
They
afraid
grow
to
it
talk
for
about legal
years,
weed
man.
on your
Yeah, we're
Cali
not.
edition.
Yeah, we're not.
No, we don't
But-
talk about weed in California.
I said to Jeff, I was like, there's good things and bad things to every situation, but there's no bad side to saving time.
Yeah.
Just like saving time is all around a good thing.
Oh yeah, totally.
Unless you start taking shortcuts, of course. But and it's so many, like you said, so many people get caught up in just the weirdest shit, and it's like, why are you doing that?
Because we're all fucked up. That's the reason why we get caught up in the weird shit, right?
Well, and people's desire to be liked and to be wanted and to be
Yeah.
like, well,
To be
there's something
Yeah,
that
right.
this person doesn't like about me. How do I win them over? And
Right.
like, I don't have energy for that. I'm like, oh, you don't get my jokes. Bye.
I've never had energy
That's
for
why
people
I
wanting to like me.
I especially make as many jokes as possible that are like weird around people to see who gets. Like, we're in a
I do
rehearsal,
that.
yeah.
Do you just test in the room?
Yeah.
I was in a
Isn't it the
rehearsal
best when
and
like,
I was
you're in a
just
group
like,
of people and only
no
one
one's
person
into
gets
the
it?
jokes.
You know, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Make jokes.
Sometimes I catch myself in the theater watching a movie, and I'm the only one who bursts out laughing at a part. It's like,
Yeah. It's like, where's
oh
everybody?
yeah, no,
They're like, why is he laughing at the monkey
Why are
rape?
the zombies not laughing?
I'm so lonely.
From a standpoint of comedy, especially
Yeah.
stand-up
Oh,
comedy,
yeah.
is that something you use in practice? Do you try to subvert a room?
I think I would have to say sometimes when it comes to my comedy, I will see how angry I can get people and how much you can bring them back.
Oh,
It's-
interesting.
Yeah, but to see the thing is like a lot of times on shows I do characters, so it's
Right.
like it's not it's not pure stand up.
Right.
But you're
Like,
still,
when I
but
do-
you're still interacting with a
Yeah, of
with,
course.
with
Yeah,
an
you have to-
audience.
yeah,
like,
it's more improv. But I would have said to say that like the reaction you get from the groups, you want to,
I think Dave likes making people
I
uncomfortable.
like making people uncomfortable. Like I find it sometimes funny when people
his
don't
goal.
laugh
Mm-hmm.
because for me it's more of a joke for me. And like I know it's not good because it's my joke for myself and it's supposed to be a mass audience. But sometimes, whatever, because eventually someone will laugh at the same stupid joke.
Bill Hicks would used to do that
all the time.
where he
Yeah.
would just alienate the entire
course.
room. But I think
Right.
it's just
So
I
would
love
Andrew
Bill
Dice
Hicks.
Clay.
Yeah, one of the other
Yeah.
ones.
So would Andrew Dice Clay.
I think
Yeah.
that's just part of like discovering your craft even more. You're digging into the deep
but when
corners
it-
that maybe nobody has discovered before.
Yeah, but also too when comedy is like now, especially nowadays, like there's so much like backlash on comedy. But the thing is, comedy always has to be a pure form of punk rock.
Yeah.
No matter what, because why? Anything that makes you uncomfortable is comedy. Like if you're like that little joke, you might hear a joke or something that's like off, like a dead baby joke or whatever.
Yeah.
And they, that's mild
Or
compared to
monkey
a
rape
Louis
joke.
C.K. rape joke.
Yeah.
But with like something like that, it's like, but the off-puttingness, the chuckle that you get from something that makes you uncomfortable is the reality of what's around us.
The horrific is funny.
Yeah, of course.
We had a comedian on this show last season, Ken Reed. He's actually a podcaster as well. And he brought that up, that he 100% believes, and I do as well, that horror breeds comedy, and comedy breeds horror. Like they exist in that same realm, and that's lost on a lot of people.
Yeah.
You laugh because you're uncomfortable, and you're uncomfortable because you're laughing sometimes.
Yeah. And sometimes you're laughing because you're quick enough to know where the weirdness is in that conversation.
Yeah.
You're quicker than the people that are going to laugh out of uncomfortableness.
Right.
Like you get it from where it is versus from where you're feeling it.
Or you've been uncomfortable for so long, you've learned how to laugh at it.
Everything. Like I do.
My mom always said, if you don't know how to laugh at yourself, you're living life wrong.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And I almost live by that, and it makes everything funny.
Yeah.
You just like, you get in a car accident, you're like, oh, that's so typical.
Yeah. I've been in 3. And
That's
each
very
time I'm like,
Dave.
Yeah.
on top of that, though, you've talked a lot about teaching.
Yeah.
How long have you been teaching for?
Well, I'm one of those people that was like, I was always a natural teacher. Like in high school, when the teacher was absent, they would have me teach class. Like, I don't know what it is. I guess I like telling people what to do, but I don't really. It's more so that I'm just, I don't know what it is. And then
is that why I'm hot for teacher all the time?
I found, oh my God.
I'm sorry. I've been listening to a lot of 80s
shit
music
out
recently.
of your dick later. Anyway,
I'm about to do the drum
Coming
solo.
at
I'm about to do the
more
drum solo.
babies.
No time.
More babies.
but anyway, when we moved to New York, this woman, Laura Monaco, I love you. She found me on Twitter, and she had watched Platinum Hit, so she was like a fan of mine from the show, and she like randomly sent me an email. Was like, we got a studio in Staten Island. We need someone who can teach voice and piano, but also can songwrite and do vocal production. I was like, oh my God, that's a whole thing right now.
Yeah.
So I got all my like vocal coaching training from her. But like piano, like I love teaching piano. It's really fun. And like teaching people how to read sheet music is one of my passions.
Do you think it helps your career as well? Does it help like I mean, a lot of teachers talk about this, and I always wonder about this. Like, as someone who has taught a lot, do you, even as from a very basic standpoint of someone teaching piano, does that help you as your songwriting? Does that influence you at all?
I do mostly songwriting then. So my lessons, it's very rarely voice. Now that I'm not in Staten Island anymore, everything is Skype. It's way easier to write songs on Skype.
Right.
So I do mostly songwriting and stuff. But I find I love co-writing and I love writing with people. And because it's like, it's like a job. Because there's some days where you're like, I'm tired. Yeah. I got no sleep last night. I have no inspiration.
Yeah.
And then I like the challenge of sitting down and writing. Like my student the other day, she texted me the day before the lesson and was like, I don't have any ideas for any songs. Should we do the session? And I was like, of course. And we wrote a song. I was like, what's your favorite TV show? She was like, Friends. I was like, what character do you relate to the most? She was like, Ross. I was like, tell me about Ross.
Ross?
And we started writing a song from the perspective of Ross. And like... that kinds of things, because you run out of things to write about.
Yeah.
But you never do, because there's a whole world, and people are so like, well, I can only write about me and my life and things I've experienced. And it's like,
Do mushrooms.
Yeah.
do mushrooms.
Acid and mushrooms.
Watch when
I support acid and mushrooms. to
watch
help
when
you.
Harry Met Sally
Death Wish.
and
Mushrooms.
write an album for them. So I mean, I like teaching because I don't know. I like connecting with people. Like sometimes Dave will be like, ugh.
All
And
most of
I'm
the time.
like, yeah, but some of my students, I'm the only person who's ever told them that it's okay to want to do music.
Yeah, well, you get the freaks too. That's a kind of
I
fun
do.
thing. You do get the rejects of like the popular kids. Because
What does my dad say? I collect
Yeah.
strays
You
my
do-
whole life.
Your
Have
number
you met
one
my
stray
husband?
right here.
He's the strayest.
Your
stray.
island of misfit toys.
But it's like
Just
the thing, like it
100%.
frustrates me because so many people are only interested in the like teeny bopper pop
Right.
riffing, and I'm like, you can have a career in music, and there's a market for like people that want to hear you write songs from your soul and have a different kind of voice and not just want to have like an EDM production.
Yeah.
You know, like everything
Yeah.
is so electronic, and it's like we were talking about before, like yeah, that's prevalent and a thing, but it's always going to cause some kind of other balance to it.
Right.
Of
Yes.
people that are like, I still want to just go listen to someone playing acoustic guitar.
Right.
You know? So in that way it helps me just because I have to get out of my own thing. And teaching is, although sometimes I'm just like, maybe I should listen to my own advice and like have some
Well, isn't that the
Well, you
great
give
thing
the
about
best,
teaching
yeah.
is that sometimes you do end up listening to your own advice, or you
don't
know,
think-
just running through the basics, and you're like, oh shit, I forgot about that basic.
right, like might be like you can, and I'm like, I'm so exhausted with all of it because I went real hard in my 20s to try to make it.
Yeah.
You know, and then I
Don't
was
we
like,
all?
I don't
Same.
want
Don't we
to
all?
do
Yeah.
this at
Yeah.
all. Not even a little. Ooh, going on tour. Not something I ever want to do.
Isn't that weird how that happens?
I would like to sit in my home studio and make funny voices into a microphone.
Yeah.
Right, that McDonald's commercial thing I did was so good.
McDonald's commercial is great.
Caramel latte. It's like so good. Like I just want to do that.
Never got hired.
And you both are pursuing your careers.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the question we ask
Oh, yes.
every single episode. And I want to ask you both. I have to drink before this. No, I don't.
John
I'm
Connor surviving.
going to start with you.
Yes.
Dave, through it all, through starting your path on this career to where you are right now,
Yeah.
beautiful family, living in LA, and still hungry, still going for it, what fuels you to keep doing it?
What fuels me to keep going doing it? Oh, well, money first of all.
Of
No.
course.
No,
No,
but
of
no.
course.
But
I mean,
you know,
that's
people
not a
will say it's a.
terrible-
People will bullshit all day long, and they'll be like, "It's a passion. If I don't do this, I can't do anything else in the world." The truth is,
Isn't that what you
Yeah.
said?
Yeah, you're
but
dissing me
hear-
so
I hear
hard.
a lot of artists say that. Anyway, if someone lived in New York for a long time,
You live with me and see my mental state when
I
I,
do.
don't get to
She
do it.
does
I
fucking
go insane.
literally go insane.
well, see, luckily I had such a mundane job that I could just like live a normal life. No, really, honestly, you know, what fuels me to do my thing is like, I don't know. I just want to be subversive to people sometimes. Like, I don't know. To me, all my life is about a reaction, no matter what it is. It's you want to get a reaction as a comedian anyway. I don't know. And I wasn't even being a comedian before, but as just who I was as a person, which was a natural comedian, I guess.
Right.
Was there's an illicit reaction I want, but it's not the same reaction as maybe some comedians want. Mm-hmm. It's more of the thought of like, how uncomfortable can I make someone in their space, but yet at the same time pull them back to still have a fun time.
Yeah.
And that's where I like to be. And that's my drive. My drive is like, how silly can you, or silly or demented can you make something to still make people who are rational, like say conservative people, be like, I have those dark thoughts. And yes, those dark thoughts maybe are true or maybe are not true. But that's something that's gone through my mind one time. And that's what fuels me, like the common core of human beings. And that's where the comedy for me, because like no matter what, how prissy or how like, I'm super Connecticut nice, you know, like we have problems, but it's all in the doors and you guys don't know about it. I, on the other hand, like I know what's behind your dirty fucking doors. I've seen your curtain.
Right.
Let's see what it is. Let's throw it out there. And if you don't even agree with it at that moment, you're going to agree with it eventually, because why? The honesty of the drive of the comedy for me is what makes me do this. Awesome. That reaction of hate or love. Because either way, I don't care, because I never had love and never. Well, I have love now, but parental love.
He caught himself.
Parental
real quick.
love, yeah. Look at that.
I know,
Yeah,
I know,
yeah,
I
you
know Dave's
That's
story.
But parental love, you know, or
Right.
stuff like that, you know, or whatever. It was probably there, but it's the fucked up sense like everyone else has, you know.
Yes.
So you may see it different as your parents or whoever the world sees it.
Yeah.
Again, we're playing the same story. We're all special because we're special, but we're not.
the
The
core
core of humanity is humanity.
Yeah,
and
no.
it's the fucked upness of humanity that makes us us.
I love
And that's
that.
my thing.
I
That's my
love
drive.
that.
My drive is that fucking punch.
I love that. So same question to you. Like, what fuels you to want to keep, writing music, to want to keep teaching, to want to, be creative? Where's that fuel come from?
Well, it's the thing that I'm best at in life, and I'm a true believer in living in your strengths. It's just if I don't do it, I'll die.
I don't think that's terrible though.
But that is true. Like it's just one of those things. Like I just feel like life. This is the one that you have. I feel like the meaning of life is life, and this whole like, what's the meaning of life? It's like, this is life. Life is the meaning of life. Like, stop thinking about it. It's what it is. Like, duh.
You're a random act of kindness, right?
What?
I don't know. I think human beings having sex is a random act of kindness.
It is nice.
Yeah. Unless you're,
but it's
monkey raped.
I just really feel like, what is the point? Call back monkey rape. I just feel like
Shout out.
Double shout.
What is the point of life if you're just going to be miserable? And I get it, because I know some people who are miserable and they won't do anything about it because they're comfortable in that misery. So it's like, okay, that makes you happy and that's how you want your life to be. You want to be miserable because it's easy. Mm-hmm. Cool. I'm not so much like that. I'm lucky enough that I have like supportive family. Like my dad for my whole life has been my number one fan, supporter, anything I need for my music, whether it's like carrying my gear. I played First Night Saratoga in my teens, and he 4-track recorded the whole thing. Songs I don't even remember.
John Hudak,
John Hudak. That was a fun show at a Kinko's. But it's like, it really is like, I don't want to not, I don't know, live in my strength. Like, I also feel very lucky that I'm really good at something. Like, I'm not so insecure to be like, I'm okay. I'm fucking great. Like, I'm
gonna let you know right now. My wife is the next
If you're doing what
Sia.
you love and you're passionate about it, 100% you should be like, I'm good at this.
But the thing is, it's not just what, like, it makes me mad. Like, you see, I get upset sometimes. I cry sometimes because I'm not as successful as I know I should be because I'm so fucking good. Look, I've had one drink and I'm getting a little feisty here, but it really is one of those things. Like, I go to these gigs and stuff and I see, like, I understand that it's not normal for people to be able to like learn stuff as fast as I am. Like, I just have one of those memories. Like, I can memorize stuff really quickly. I can transpose. I can just do some stuff that isn't something the average person can do. And I just feel like I have to do that then. Like, I actually have a skill. Like, how fucking lucky am I that I can sing, that like I'm not tone deaf, that like, and that I also have the drive to learn and grow. Like, I'm never so, like, oh, I don't need to learn anything. That's why I like teaching and working with young artists, because I learn stuff from them and I get inspired from them. But like, it's really like, I owe it to myself to do this with my life. And I owe it to my daughter. Like, the battle of like being able to work. Like, I have a workspace in my own home and I still have guilt about like coming back here and working for hours straight. Because I'm like, maybe she pooped and I wasn't there to see the consistency of it, to know like if there's any adjustments we need to make in her diet.
It mostly looks like blueberries all the time.
It's like Play-Doh consistency at
It
this
really
point,
is.
which is exciting because before it was very messy and now it's like a little more succinct.
That's a whole other thing. That you guys are brand new parents. I mean, Ruby just celebrated 1 year. So I mean, this is something that you're going through.
Right. I just have that like undying need inside of me. Like, I quit all the time. Like, I'm never being an artist again. I will do gigs and sing and write songs and put videos out and singles out, but I'm not doing it anymore. Like, it happens all the time because it's so thankless and so frustrating and you're doing it in a vacuum. But like, I honestly, there's no reality where I'm not doing this. And I just can't. It's just who I am.
And I think we talk about that a lot on the show, and I think that is the core of humanity. Is that, again, if there's something that you love, pursue it, and pursue it with everything you have. And I mean, yes, we all have to work a shitty job in our life, and we all have to be miserable sometimes. But that doesn't mean that you can't chip away at that and pursue it. And both of you have an incredible outlook on life where you're able to be this. No, you do. You do.
She has the best
At
one.
times.
At times, look, nobody's perfect, but you both have this drive that you want to be who you know you are.
Yes, it is true.
That's
And
very
you
true.
also want each other to be that, and I think that is completely rare. That a husband and wife, a family, is that supportive of each other's career and want them to do that. No, I'm
That's
really
why I
serious.
chop all the vegetables, because I don't want her to cut off her moneymakers.
Exactly.
He's letting up a little bit.
Exactly. You nailed it right there.
Nailed it right there. You
Yeah.
can pontificate all day. I'll just
That's
make it
over.
simple.
Now that I discovered that getting to cook dinner means that somebody else has to watch the baby and you get to drink wine in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm cooking now. I'm chopping those veggies.
So if our
no,
listeners
it's
want to follow your story, your journey, your social media,
Your website. Well, like, where's the best way to
Here's the
follow
time to
each
plug
of you?
it.
Yes.
I would say your Instagram.
My Instagram is the only one.
And Twitter. Dave's
Why?
Twitter jokes.
My Twitter jokes are, I don't know. They're, you know how they say comedy's all about timing, and guess what I don't have is
If
timing.
you like
if someone
offensive
dies, I'm like
jokes.
right the first joke. Because guess what? It's common.
It's
you know,
never
too
everyone,
soon.
Yeah,
It's
and it's
never
never
too
too
soon.
soon. We're all gonna die.
Yeah.
So I
Death
know it makes you
wish.
feel like when someone famous dies, it makes you feel like your own mortality. But the truth is, you're gonna die anyway. So who
Right.
cares? I have fun with it.
Right.
Dave's like,
You
cool,
know?
they died. Flint still doesn't have clean drinking
like I
water.
had comedians not follow me when David Bowie died, because the moment I heard he died, the first joke I ever said, I was like, well, because you know, back in the day when David Bowie died, before he died, they had a website you could look up and like, where was your life when David Bowie was your age? So you
Right.
just type in your thing, and he's like, David Bowie made 8,000 platinum records at
Right.
at
Right.
25.
Yeah.
He did, Stevie Ray Vaughan's Double Trouble something at 18. But so at least I know now, because my joke was like, well, I can type my name in when I'm 60 and I'm not dead.
Right.
Like David Bowie, and it's just honest.
You
It's
win.
an honest-
You beat
I
David
win.
Bowie.
I beat David Bowie. I'm finally better than David Bowie at
Because
60
he's dead, yes.
because I'm alive and
Right.
he's dead.
Right.
It's kind of true because I got to live a little longer.
But-
but yeah.
by the way,
true.
that's at Unfunniest Comic.
At
if nobody
Unfunniest
caught
Comic.
that.
Anywhere
On
you
Twitter
wanna
and
find
Instagram,
Twitter,
at
Instagram.
Unfunniest Comic.
Yeah, but
And for
people
you-
get sensitive about that shit.
Yeah. Well, but whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it's true.
Core of
People-
humanity.
Some of his jokes I don't favorite.
No, of course not.
I favorite the ones that I think are funny and the ones that I think are not.
Well, it's been hard to make.
I like my dad's like, some of his comedy is tasteless.
Yes.
I'm like, Dad,
Yes.
yeah, I don't think maybe.
Oh,
We're okay.
Oh.
That's we're
We're
talking.
having too
That's
much fun. That's
we're
what that
done.
means.
That's the
Yeah.
hour mark.
like-
So for you, Jess, where's the best place for people to follow you?
Oh, I guess Instagram's cool. Jes Hudak, JESHUDAK.
Yep, I'll put it right in here.
Jess with one S. It's cool. I was 8 when I decided that. Don't argue with me. Argue with 8-year-old me. That girl was very strong-headed. So I guess that's the thing. It's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know what I'm trying to promote or anything, but like
Yeah.
I'm engaging and stuff on my
Yeah.
Jes Hudak, but I have some other projects that I'm really proud of that are more cool.
So
Like so my passion project, I produce it, I write it, and I got this rapper from New Orleans to put in the verses, and it's called Neon Void.
Yep.
And you can look us up, Neon Void Music. We have 3 singles out. But it is like I produced all the tracks in my closet at my dad's house when I moved back home and got back in touch with myself.
Yep.
And it's the one thing, like
Found a husband.
being an artist, you always have to get feedback and like be so like open to criticism and things. And like Neon Void is like my one thing that I'm like, I made this in my closet. I make it sound the way I want.
yeah.
And you can listen to it if you
Good
like.
shit.
I think it's good.
I like it.
It's music I would listen to. It's the first like kind of music I made myself that I would actually listen to
Yeah.
because I'm not into piano playing singer-songwriter music, which is why I did it for so long. Thank you. But I much prefer that kind of thing. So check us out.
Yeah.
I don't really post that much as Neon Void, but you can listen to the songs
Yeah,
on
I'll put
iTunes and
links in this
Spotify
episode as well.
every day.
Yeah.
And I have so many things going on. It's too many things.
Well, that's
this is
good.
my problem.
That's good.
I'm also known as Pony Mane.
Yes.
Pony Mane Music, and I will actually be doing that as an artist because I've killed off the Jes Hudak artist. She is just a voiceover artist.
Only
Speaking of
one
myself
can
in the third
survive.
person, I'm so fancy. That's my songwriter, voiceover artist kind of person. And then Pony Mane is the artist where I do whatever I want and I don't wear any fucking pants.
No pants.
And I make a beat on
Yeah.
stage. I loop it. I do a million vocals, and I sing mega pop smash songs with no pants on.
Yeah.
And
Perfect.
if you like it, you like it. And if you don't, you probably because you haven't seen it because I don't play shows.
Low cut shirts and everything, man.
Wow.
One day she went out as Pony Man. I was like, hey, you got to take that little shirt a little lower. Show the goods. Show the goods.
I'm gonna wear my Death Wish Coffee T-shirt as a dress with no pants.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
For one of my Pony Mane
we will promote the hell out of
shows
that.
that I do eventually in 2025.
2025.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough for talking with us on the show.
Thank you for
Oh,
even
thank you.
wanting to talk to us.
Thank you for letting me pontificate about nothing.
It was
That's what podcasts
a
are
lot.
for.
Yeah.
Right? Is really right? Yeah.
Thanks
for
for
sure.
waiting till the baby was asleep.
I know.
Excellent.
Yeah. She's going to wake up.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you so
cheers,
much.
everyone. So happy.
This has been Fueled by Deathcast, a Death Wish Coffee Company podcast production. Thanks for listening.